All right, my name is Sire. Here we have Noah Gall. He is a mentee of Vantage Education. Now, he took the mentorship last spring, and this guy has been killing the game. So I'm just let him give a quick introduction about himself.
So my name's Noah. I currently live in Iowa. I work a full-time job. Before I took the mentorship, I had zero trading experience at all. So one day I just woke up and, I saw Sire. Sire went to the University of Iowa, and I remember seeing him around. I'm like, who is this guy? And, there's some things that I saw on Instagram. And I'm like, there's no way that what he's doing is accurate, what he's doing. And I thought he was a scammer at first. And then, I got a little bit deeper into it. I followed him and I saw him posting all of the success from all of his mentees. And, one of these days I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the risk. And it worked out.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely true. A lot of people usually start off and they're pretty scared just because it's something that they have no idea about. And that's normal, but success is on the other side of the things that you don't want to do.
Right. You gotta have that mindset of, what will happen. I remember when I told people I signed up for the mentorship, like, what happens if it doesn't work out? And I looked at them and I said, what happens if it does work out?
Right. Yeah. Mindset's everything. So you said that you had no experience trading before the mentorship. So for you coming into the mentorship as a complete beginner, would you say that you felt like the mentorship was tailored for beginners? Did you feel like it was a little bit too hard to grasp? Or how was your experience with coming into the mentorship with no prior trading?
So I felt like the mentorship, you guided it at a pace that was completely understandable. If somebody didn't understand it, you would make sure that you would slow down and you'd make sure everybody understood before moving on. However, I thought the systems that you spoke about, they were so simplified that it was easy for everybody to understand very quickly.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing about Vantage Education is like, this is literally tailored to like someone that doesn't understand anything at all. Because we know, as yourself, there's people that are going to come in brand new, and there's other people that are going to come in a little bit more experienced. There's some people that are going to come in and they have a lot of experience. So just being able to make everything cohesive to the entire group is definitely important and something that we emphasize here. So then second question, what would you say surprised you most about the program with going into it? Because I don't know if you've ever done, any other, mentorships or like coaching stuff or whatever, but how would you say Vantage Education differentiates itself from other competitors?
What I was most surprised about is that you would check in on your mentees. Coach JT would also be checking on the mentees. You'd be assigning homework to make sure that everybody understood. And also the takeaway is that just the community itself, I felt like everybody that's in the mentorship, or at least in the spring mentorship, everybody would be checking in on each other. If somebody had a question, just the community is so engaging that they're willing to assist in any way possible. And everybody really just wants to see each other win.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was crazy throughout the mentorship. It felt like everyone was kind of pushing each other up to get to that point of success. So if someone is watching this and thinking about joining the mentorship, what advice would you give to them, like before they even go through with it? What's the type of mindset they should have before joining something like Vantage to be successful?
So first of all, I wouldn't say it's for everybody. I know there's quite a few people that are looking into trading just to make money, just to make a quick dollar. Obviously, it takes a certain type of mindset for somebody to make the money. I'd started about a little over a year ago, and I would probably already say that I have over 1,000 hours charted. It takes the mindset for you got to put in the work to be good at it, right? If you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to be good. So I would say, one, you got to trust what's being taught, and you have to believe in the systems that you are taught as well, but also be willing to put in the effort and the time to get good at something, such as charting.
Yeah, I agree. And then throughout courses of mentorship, let's say like 3 weeks in, could you tell the difference between from when you first started to 3 weeks within the mentorship?
Absolutely. Just the way that you would break things down. And when you would break a trade down for us and be able to explain, what's happening within the market, it was just really eye-opening. I think around week 3 is when everything started to click for me. And, I was able to execute trades more confidently.
Definitely. That's good to hear. Definitely good. So since you have taken the mentorship, for you specifically, has the mentorship been free for you, meaning that you have made back the cost of the mentorship through trading itself?
Oh, yeah. And some. I was able to pay for the mentorship probably 6 or 7 times just through one trade. And I've also been able to pay for trips and do a whole bunch of other stuff. And it doesn't really take a whole lot of money to build to get that. I think at the end of the mentorship, I think I turned a $129 trade into 2 bands. So,
Jeez.
it was you're able to make the mentorship back in one trade. You don't even have to have a whole lot of capital to do that.
Dang, that's good. That's good. So would you say, like, with the skill of trading that you have now, you kind of live life a little differently, or kind of see it a little differently?
Absolutely. So, there might be a time like, a weekend. I will before the mentorship, I would, on a good weekend, I'd spend about $200. That's me going out to the bars, going out to eat, doing different things like that. Now I invest that into the trading, and there's weekends where, I'm able to turn that $200 into $1,000 and able to have $1,000 for a weekend and a little bit extra, and a little bit more, I don't want to say flamboyant, but you get to live life a little bit extra, you get to experience the finer things just from using trading.
So now that you have the skill of trading from the mentorship, would you say it's a skill that you can, steadily use throughout the rest of your life? Or would you say it's something that, you just wanted to do for a couple of months and then end?
I think it's going to be something that I'm going to use for the rest of my life. I'm going to use this as discretionary money. Obviously, if I'm able to turn $200 into $1,000 and be able to spend $1,000 on the weekend, just have fun, and then also have my long-term investments on the side, obviously I'm going to do that. It makes life a little bit easier. I'm able to have my main source of income, which is my job, and then also to use trading for my discretionary money. And if you make enough money, you're able to put some of that money into long-term investments as well. So absolutely, I think that this is going to be something that I'm going to rely on heavily going in later in life as well.
And I saw recently you had a pretty big trade. Can you just talk through that a little bit?
Yeah, so I turned $16,000 into $32,000. So I doubled my money. So I made $16,000 on one trade. And that was I think it was on Monday. But man, am I mad at myself for not trading on Wednesday after that pump. So
jeez. And how long did it take you to turn that 16,000 to 32,000?
So I entered the trade at about 9:30 in the morning, and I looked at my phone because I went into a meeting at work, and I looked at it down at like 11:30. It was at 32,000. I closed it. I should have held to the end of the day because SPY just kept dropping. So I think the trade ended up going for 300 or 400%. I closed at about 114%. But if I would have held to the end of the day, I would have made a lot more money.
Gee, so just in 2 hours you made 16K.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane. For some people, that's like 4 months of work.
It's crazy. I know there's people that pay for signals, and that's what I find the most beneficial from this mentorship is that you don't do any of the signals. You teach the people or the mentees how to go and fish for themselves, quote unquote, to say. You don't tell us, hey, we're going to buy here, we're going to sell here. You just teach the structure of everything, and all of the mentees are killing it. And we're all taking trades on different things. There's sometimes that we'll take trades on the same things, but I know people that are paying hundreds of dollars a month for these signals chats. And honestly, I think after taking your mentorship, I think I could start my own signals Discord and make a bunch of money from it too. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, having the skill can, open up so many doors for you in life. So yeah, man, you have it. So last question, what are you most proud of since joining the mentorship? How would you say this mentorship opened up your mind to other things?
So the thing that I was most proud about is having that risk-taking mindset. Like I said, when I told people that I was signing up for your mentorship, they're like, okay, what happens if it didn't work out? And seeing that it did work out and come to fruition, it really makes me realize that if you take action, that you will actually see rewards. I'd rather invest in myself and later down the road and know that it either worked or it didn't work than wishing I would have taken action and not know. So just having that mindset and you coming through and helping me specifically, I would say that that's helped me grow as a person, not just in trading as well.